Good evening, and welcome to the first episode of The End Podcast, starring me, Alex, and my friend.
Hello, I am Josh Mott, and I'm speaking to you nice and deeply into this microphone.
Yes, he has an actual microphone while I'm still waiting on that end because I'm using my iPhone to record this audio. I don't know if it's going to sound great, but it's only temporary. I promise it's only temporary. But I'm so excited to start this because I had this idea not even 72 hours ago for this podcast, and we're so excited to finally do it and bring it to you. So basically, Josh, you want to explain the premise?
Sure. So, we're going to go sentence by sentence in making a nice and cool story. So, one of us is going to start, and we're just going to keep going and see where our ideas take us.
See, it's not just about making a full story, though. It's about getting our own ideas and narratives through. Because what if I want to tell a different story than Josh? So I'm going to change the story a different way. And then he's going to have to work with it. But if he wants to do his own way, then he's going to go back to what he wanted to do. So
it's interesting because we each have different styles of writing and very different experiences as far as, where we're coming from as our story. So it's going to be kind of an interesting experiment here to see just what we come up with.
Because I've watched so much TV, movies, and media, while Josh is completely on the opposite spectrum, not watching
I've watched kung fu movies, and that's about it.
And I've watched a lot of shows. A lot. We'll leave it at that. A lot of shows, a lot of podcasts. And I like writing stories.
That's something we both agree on. So, should we get started?
I guess we will. And today,
no idea how this is going to turn out, by the way.
Yeah,
just throwing that out there.
This is a trial. So far, we're doing pretty well. I think,
we've given an intro. I wouldn't get too excited yet.
I mean, white guys in podcasting just goes together like bread and butter. So we're going to flip the lens cap and see who gets to go first. So Fujifilm at the beginning, at the front of the lens cap will be me. And then the back side of the lens cap will be Josh. So we're going to give that a flip. Dropped it. All right, we're going to give that a better flip so I don't drop it. I think that was me. We're going to go with me because I think, yeah, that was me. All right, so you know what? For this story, I just watched the match with Phil Mickelson, Tom Brady, Tiger Woods, and whoever the other guy was. Peyton Manning? Did I say that already?
Peyton Manning.
Okay, I just watched that, so I'm feeling like a golf story. So I'm going to start it out. Pedro, it's all caps, perfect. Pedro was a shy young man from a small fishing village in Juneau, Alaska.
This reminds me of the one professional golfer who was from a small village in Spain. I can't remember his name, but he was a cool dude. Or is a cool dude. I don't know.
Your turn.
God, you give me so little to work with every time.
I mean, I had to start it off strong, so, I got the luck of the lens cap, so.
I'm trying to think. So what I focus on when I'm writing a story is character. That's kind of where I get all of my motivation from of what to do. So, given that he's a shy young man,
what are his motivations? What does he enjoy? We haven't even introduced that he likes golf yet. We just kind of said his whole personality is being from a small fishing village. This is the Lexile comprehensive level of a third grade writing.
It's first draft. That's how first drafts work.
I mean, we're not like paying attention to the details. This isn't. Why are you erasing and keep typing?
Because I'm trying to figure out how to write this well, dog.
Bro, this is just for fun.
Autocorrect. What time is sunrise in Alaska? I think it's
every day.
It's
all
like,
day.
It's like 4 or 5, I think.
Does it matter? It's a story.
All right, fine.
This is exactly why I wanted to put a clock for this, so that it'd be like chess, just back and forth.
Complete.
So what did you type, Josh?
I typed, every summer day he found himself on the range at 7 a.m., prepared to work his skills and lower his handicap.
And for the listeners, we are going to try to read out our sentences as we type them to make it a more pleasurable listening experience for you.
Oh, we are? Oh, man.
I thought I told you that. Oh, well. Anyways, so let's see. I just read your line about the handicap, and I'm thinking about throwing a wrench in this.
God.
Pedro himself had many issues. No, that's weird. I'm not. Pedro himself had longed for the day he could walk again.
What? What? Why?
For now,
why do you do
he was
this?
the most skilled wheelchair golfer this side of the Alaskan Yukon. Sure, why not?
I don't think Juneau is across the Yukon because Juneau is on an
Does the
island.
story have to be accurate? Does
Hold
there
on.
actually have
Hold
to
on,
be any accuracy?
I have a map.
He's checking a map.
Yeah, Juneau is about as southern as Alaska gets.
You know what?
So...
In my story, I think that the Pangea shifted differently, and this is like an alternate timeline of the world if it developed differently. Would you like to write your sentence?
God, this is already a mistake. I already regret this.
We're just having
What
fun.
What are you supposed to do with a wheelchair golfer? You took this from something that I knew very well, golf.
You
And
shouldn't use the word handicap.
I hope the audience can hear the exasperation in my close-up microphone.
I mean, you got a microphone right in your mouth. I mean, of course they're gonna hear it. Mine's sitting on the table in front of me. It's still able to hear my belly when you're editing this. Can you remove all these terrible noises? Because my body makes weird noises.
Yeah, that was bad. Stop. Stop.
It's still making
Stop.
noise. This is terrible podcast experience right now. And I just cracked my knuckles. I am not a podcast prone. It had been 6 years.
Are you gonna read out every word as I type it?
If you're not gonna read it out, I'll read it out.
I'll read it out after I'm done typing it, if you don't mind.
Okay, but then what are the listeners? Fine, I'll just talk while you're typing then.
Okay, that's appreciable. I appreciate that.
So how are our listeners doing today? I'm assuming all one or two of you, because I'm assuming the only people who are actually gonna listen to this are us to see if we come off as like terrible people. And he's stopped typing. I think he's processing it. Avalanche, okay. Denial, okay. I see where he's going with this. This is not our first time actually recording a podcast. We've recorded one on a golf course. I don't know why we thought that was a good idea. We recorded one on a golf course.
Because it was raining.
Yeah, and it was with our friend Peter. I don't know if Jacoby was there, but
I don't think he was.
we just recorded it for fun, I guess. It was kind of fun. There was no real point to it at all, and we talked about inside jokes. So there was absolutely no chance any audience was going to enjoy.
It had been 6 years since the avalanche on Denali caused him to recalculate his career goals, and golf became a more central part of his life. So, my goal with that sentence is to try to give us a little bit of backstory in addition to a little bit of character conflict. So, what we're establishing here is...
boring. The golf scene of Alaska was quite dangerous.
Dangerous?
As what's another big? The Anchorage. As the Anchorage All-Stars controlled the golf.
You're making this a gang movie?
Circuit. We have to have some conflict in here. It can't be a story about him being a good golfer.
It can be internal conflict.
I put a period when I didn't mean to. So now it's Josh's turn. Because whenever you
God.
put a period, no matter what happens, even if it's a mistype, halfway through a sentence, it's your turn's over.
To be honest, I can't tell that was halfway through a sentence because I thought that's just the way that you write.
Okay. But
Throwing shade.
yeah, but I wrote that in like 20 seconds while you took 20 minutes to write a sentence. So my sentence came out to be, let's see. Can you move your tag on this? I can't see it. The golf scene of Alaska was quite dangerous as the Anchorage All-Stars controlled the golf circuit. And I meant to add a whole different part, but I guess he's going to add some more now. But since he's leaving the dead air right here, I will continue to talk about our failed podcast ideas. We had the one that we were planning on recording on the golf course because we were really into golf at the time, and it was called the Tee Box, which it could have been interesting, you know, if it was a golf podcast with actual golfers, like if we interviewed like Phil Mickelson or a pro golfer, Tiger Woods, you know, it would have been somewhat cool, but you got to think about an audience when you're making a podcast. So for this podcast, I have absolutely no idea who will listen to this.
Yes. With 3 consecutive state championships and multiple national titles, their team looked invincible. This is an interesting format.
What? I like that sentence. But I just can't get over the word invincible. It reminds me of another word that's very close.
No.
They also use the splash of the paranormal to win their way to their numerous titles.
How would he...
I'm just messing this whole story up. They also use the splash of the paranormal to win their way to numerous titles. Not only being invincible, but also invisible. See, this is what I enjoy. I enjoy just throwing a wrench because you're telling me your motivations for every single sentence, and I'm like, how can I screw that up?
I hate you.
That's the whole point of this podcast, though.
So,
who wants to see us? Who wants to see 2 kids who've never written anything important in their whole lives make a story when it could be 2 kids who have never written anything important in their lives
preventing each other from writing an important story?
Yeah, preventing each other. I mean, I'm having fun here.
So I take many issues with that last sentence. I just want to point that out. But the main issue that I have is the fact that we're introducing in the introduction of this story that they're using paranormal activity to win golf tournaments, which that feels like something that could be like an Act 2 turn. Like, this is pretty early on to introduce the fact that they're doing something paranormal. And I feel like that could be something that was left more as a plot twist than as a form of exposition. But
well, you see, we are not like normal writers. We are so bad.
We are bad.
We are so advanced upon the point that, you know, this is just a meta story, and this is a reflection of our internal struggles every day in life. Oh, he's not talking again. He's giving the listeners a silent treatment.
It seemed unfair to Pedro. So I'm trying to give Pedro a little bit of a connection to these people in that he's a little bit self-righteous and kind of believing in the rules and the rule of law and kind of connecting with that as his character. So it would seem unfair to him that they're able to do that, and that we'll also be able to give a little exposition. So it seemed unfair to Pedro that the All-Stars, Smash Mouth, that the All-Stars could smash mouths.
Yeah, that's a little unfair. I mean,
it seemed unfair to Pedro that the All-Stars were able to sneakily tap in. What's it called when the ball lips out? Oh, they're
what are those called? The
It's
go
just
ahead putts.
it lips out. Yeah. Yeah. Tap in there. Go ahead putts. Thank you. Tap in there. 2 T's in putts. It's a little linguistic tip for you out there. They were able to sneakily tap in their go ahead putts without increasing their scores because of their indivisibility.
I mean, we just talked about that in the sentence prior. You don't have to say it again. But I guess we'll be redundant.
Look.
Oh well, the story doesn't make sense anyways, and it doesn't have to be illiterate.
I'd like it for it to be, and
So you see,
that's a good critique that you brought up. However,
my point of what I want to do with this story is I want to bring it to a wider audience than just the golf fans. Because when I started writing this, it's like boring. It's Alaska and golf. That's so boring. So I just thought, what's more fun than golf and the Yukon? Ghosts.
Don't.
Ghosts are exciting. Ghosts bring people to go see those mansions from the Travel Channel. So, just bringing a little bit of paranormal just spices things up.
Call of Duty ghosts, but with actual ghosts.
Idea. Pedro had approached the what is it called again? Did we establish that yet? No, we haven't. Okay. Had approached the Alaskan Gulf Council many times about the use of spiritual guidance in play for the All-Stars. But every time he was turned around and rolled away.
I'm sorry, what?
What?
He was turned around and rolled away.
Yeah. Oh, I meant... I guess I meant to say turned down and rolled away. But I guess it sounds like...
Still doesn't
it sounds
make
like
any
they walked
sense.
up... Yeah, it sounds like they walked up to him and actually turned him around in his wheelchair and pushed him away. Just write your sentence. Just write it.
This is bad. Turned around and rolled away. God. Alright, I'm trying to add a little bit of conflict here. Pedro, being a lawful figure, should have to do something unlawful, and that can be his character growth, that he then reverts back to what he knows is truly right. So, there is only one way for Pedro to level the playing field, which is a cliche statement, but I don't care.
I hope the keyboard clicking is not going to be an issue.
I don't care, because I think our listeners really like this keyboard clicking.
Yes,
look,
all one of them.
All of you are lucky that I'm not using blues right now. And if you know what I'm talking about, you're also saying, yeah, you're agreeing with me.
My camera was not recording.
Ladies and gentlemen,
how long it is.
you will now be able to see what Alex looks like.
Okay. Okay, so it was recording for a good...
Is your max clip size 5 minutes?
It might be.
Yeah, I'm still going. It's we're 22 minutes and 30 seconds in right now.
Yeah, mine stopped after 5 minutes.
Okay.
Should I just...
Hold on. Before we deal with those technical difficulties, I am going to first say that there's only...
at this point we should just deal with the technical difficulties and cut later.
I want to finish my sentence. There is only one way for Pedro to level the playing field He would need to
kneecap all of them.
kill someone and
What?
and take their help and force them.
I might have to record the rest on my iPad.
Guide his golf balls down the fairway.
Actually, I could just record it on my computer.
Period. Stop. I have a separate feed so that I can now see if my camera dies. Phone connection.
Oh, really? I had one of those.
Yeah, and then your camera has a 5-minute record time. That's very annoying.
I forgot about it.
Okay. Oh, I can see my audio levels too, so I can find out if I'm clipping. Okay, I'm going to start now. Boop, boop, boop. 3, 2, 1. And we're back. So, Alex has had a little bit of an issue, which you may have noticed by now. That is that he had no video feed this entire time. Well, except for the first 5 minutes.
Except for the first 5 minutes, which you guys were graced with.
So,
us introducing the podcast.
Turns out,
and then
the Fujifilm, what is it? XT30 has a 5-minute maximum clip size.
And I kind of knew that, but I kind of forgot because I was excited. So it's a good camera.
Meanwhile, the Panasonic G7 has a maximum clip size of more than 30 minutes.
Okay, so where we just left off is my turn. Josh introduced an interesting aspect that he needs to kill somebody. Wait, why can't he just find a ghost?
Nope.
He just has to.
I wrote that he needs to. It probably would have been funny for him to have to golf his way into the spirit realm and get a caddy from the spirit realm, but I didn't write that. I wrote that he had to murder someone.
So we're gonna. We didn't even think about the choice of
No.
Holding a seance and bringing somebody who used to be a golf caddy.
Do you think we're ever going to get a coherent story out of this format?
That is very true. I literally said that at the beginning. And I'm contradicting myself.
I don't think we will be able to.
Oh no, we will never. So he needs to kill somebody. Okay.
You're welcome. Oh my god. Ladies and gentlemen, this just gets worse and worse.
Oh man. Pedro's ailing grandmother was always supportive of his golfing passion, attending every single home match for the past.
Did I just see the word math typed there?
I did type math.
I'm interested.
That'd be a Josh move, but
I'm interested. Tell me more.
Should I move this camera?
Tell me more about the home maths.
This camera. Hold on, I'm moving my camera. I was kind of giving them an up the nose. Okay, you guys are stuck with an up the nose because I don't have anywhere else to put it. Attending every single home match for the past 3 years. Waving a flag with a picture of her beloved on it. All right, your turn.
So
we just left it dead air. Like, this is a terrible podcast.
Yeah.
Whoever's listening, just listen to dead air for a solid 5-6 seconds.
I think the story break format, it works much better.
Oh, we are not mentioning another podcast during our own podcast.
I'm just saying, you guys should go listen to that podcast instead of this one.
He may have a point, but listen to us first. And every single time you see us, watch our episode first, then go watch the unnamed podcast I'm not going to give any credit. Are you going to write your sentence? We might actually have to introduce a clock into this. Because I've written all of my sentences in under like 30 seconds.
Because you put zero thought into every single word you write.
That's kind of the fun in this whole
So
thing,
Pedro
though.
couldn't imagine life without his grandmother. But soon, she would have to imagine her, wait.
What?
But soon, he would be the one to end it all.
Huh? What? He couldn't imagine life without his grandmother, but soon he would be the one to end it all?
I did something.
His own life?
I did something there that is known as a that's called like I deferred. I deferred how to deal with this to Alex by writing a nonsense line that had no purpose.
It kind of sounds like he wants to kill himself.
Yes, it does.
Pedro would rather kill himself.
Why does he? Why are those the options? Is kill himself, kill his grandma, and not just don't win the golf tournament.
Golf is everything, okay? Pedro
It's golf or
is from
die.
a small. Pedro is from a small fishing village in Juneau. He is all about golf. He has nothing. There's nothing in Alaska besides gold.
I want to get
and.
I want to get some.
Continue?
I want to get some dialogue in this. Can we resolve to add some more dialogue? Because I want to make funny voices.
We do need some dialogue, but we're also still setting up the premise. So Pedro would rather kill himself than kill his dear old Mima. So he wrote a list of possible. Actually, no, I have an idea. But she was going to go anyways. But she was already next on...
Next in the queue.
Next up on the Grim Reaper's clipboard. If anything, he was doing her a favor. This is terrible. Pedro is a terrible person.
You were the one that wrote him to be. Actually, no, that was me.
Yeah, who wrote that in, Josh?
Well,
Think about it for a second.
I wrote that he had to kill someone. You wrote who it was.
Okay, I only was stirring the pot a little bit. Nothing different than what we're used to.
Pedro, no, he walked into his grandmother's hospital room. Unsure of how to get her to sign a legally binding contract. Actually, no. She's going to do it out of the goodness of her heart.
Why would she sign a Why would she... Shouldn't this be against her wishes? Wait, I have an idea, but I have to wait till
his grandmother is very supportive of him, and so she'll be willing to spend her time in the afterlife helping him out. And that'll be a foil to Pedro so that he can see that it's not all about him and golf isn't as important as everyone else in his life. And then we have character development.
Okay, finish your sentence.
Unsure of how to convince her to help him out.
I did not say okay, Google. Oh, I said it.
Okay, Google.
You're in my earbud. That doesn't... That's not how any of this works.
It was worth a shot.
Sorry, I don't understand.
Okay, Google. Turn off the lights.
Why did you think that would work? You're still plugged in. I'm still listening through my earbuds. What?
Wait, did it work? No way. No way. How? Yes.
Wait, how did you do that?
Yes. I just controlled Alex's lights with my voice, folks.
No, you're plugged into my earbuds. That makes no sense.
Oh, you only have one earbud in. The other one's still a speaker.
That makes no sense. No way Google heard that. How the... That was actually insane. You can tell on my audio that you could not hear you talking. How did you actually do it?
That's actually really funny.
How did you actually do it?
I guess I just have a really so they train Google's AI on white male voices mainly.
Yeah, sure.
So I'm really connected.
My earbuds, is it picking up the frequencies?
Yeah, well, yeah, because it's possible that like your earbuds are equivalent to someone in a different room talking to the thing.
That makes absolutely no sense. Hey Google? Hey Google? Lights on. Okay, for the listeners, all one of you,
no
currently...
Everyone's left by now.
I'm listening to Josh's audio through my earbuds. And my lights just turned off after Josh said, "Okay,
do you
Google,
think it's
turn off the lights."
Do you think it's connected to your Google account? We're on Hangouts.
Say it again. Say the word.
Okay, Google, turn on the lights.
That was stupid. Why did we try that? We really just tried that, thinking it would work.
To be fair, it did work once.
Okay. Somehow my lights turned off on their own the first time. I never said anything about to Google.
Is it Pedro's grandmother?
Hey, she is already dead? Hey, Google. Lights out.
They are.
Lights on. Hey, Google. Lights on.
So
I thought this podcast was going to be a mess.
For those of you those of you only listening to audio, what's happening is Alex's lights are basically raving out. They are just turning on and off every once in a while.
That is not at all what's going on, but only the people watching this are watching it and not listening. So you said a line about how he walked into a hospital room, unable to convince her to win his golf, help him out when his golf match. Me, ma. Die already. Hag. Done. That's my line.
What?
That's my sentence.
What? You left me with...
So my sentence
This guy is a jerk.
Me, ma. Die already. Hag. You're welcome. You see, this is the fun part about the end. It's just about screwing Josh over and just seeing his reaction to it.
Mima, die already, hag. Okay, she is going to respond. Oh, you have always been quite a strange boy, huh?
You have been cute.
Oh, you've been quite a strange boy. It is no wonder that you come to send me off like this.
Are you leaving it like that? Oh, okay.
Replied a happy but ailing grandmother. You're up. Please don't. Okay, so this whole thing started when we first did this podcast. The first time that someone threw a wrench in the machine, it was me. And that was the last time, because Alex has picked up the slack that I left over and now dedicates every other line to messing with me.
That is the point of this podcast. Okay, you're the V, I'm the end. Okay, this is we wanted to be called Zigzag because that would be the point, but it's all about the story. But Josh only cares about the actual like fundamentals of stories, and I just want to make a funny story about a kid who hates his grandma and wants to kill her to win golf.
This guy is the worst person.
Oh yeah, Pedro's a terrible person. Oh, you have been quite a strange boy. It's no wonder that you come to send me off like this, replied a happy but ailing grandmother.
For all of you listeners out there, if you're like Pedro, stop listening and leave this video a dislike.
Stop listening and go kill your grandmother. Just get it over with already. I want to make him more of an asshole, but I kind of want to reel it back a little bit.
How? How are you even going to accomplish that?
Pedro walks over. Pedro walks over to the side of his grandmother's padded abode.
He walked over to the side of her house.
I mean, the padded abode is obviously her little hospital bed. Before...
Have you ever read a book? Is he gonna shoot her?
Why would he shoot her? Come on.
What?
That's a stupid way to die in a hospital.
What's he reaching behind for?
I actually kind of want to make him shoot her. Now that you've given me that idea. Because then we could have him... Well, how would he escape?
Parkour.
Do I need to remind you of a specific trait of Pedro's?
Oh my... Is he gonna... Wait.
Wait. Okay, we're doing that.
Outside the window, there's a...
pulling out his gold-encrusted... what's a gun?
He has a Glock 19.
How do you know that?
I know things.
His gold-encrusted Glock. I'm just gonna leave it a Glock because you could be wrong.
I'm not wrong. The police use those guns.
Okay,
it's a handgun. Also,
I don't care.
Why does he not pull out Glock? 2 gold pistols? Like that,
That'd
like that one
awesome,
guy
from
one guy from Face Off.
You know, that would be pretty awesome. I kind of want to add that in. I mean, you're having some good ideas. Dual gold-encrusted Glocks.
Actually, it's one Glock and it's one Beretta because he just couldn't decide in the store.
Before pulling out his dual gold-encrusted Glocks and unloading 2 full mags into the chest of whom he once called a hag. And that is my sentence, folks. Have a good night.
Oh my god.
Just to recap real quick, Pedro walks over to the side of his grandmother's padded abode before pulling out his dual gold-encrusted Glocks and unloading 2 full mags into the chest of whom he once called a hag. You know, I'm quite a literary myself.
I'm trying to think of a fun one-liner for the grandma as she's getting
We're both on the page of
lead.
making him do wheelchair parkour out the window, right?
Yes.
Okay. This is the only time we'll ever be on the same page. I always said your future was going to blow me away. Why would it blow him away?
No, you said it.
What is blowing him away?
Shh.
Metaphorical?
Let me explain.
Okay.
always said your future was gonna blow me away, the grandmother said as she was pumped full of lead. You're welcome. I just gave you a softball right down the middle.
That's quite amazing, actually. Pedro rolled over to the hospital hospital room doors, not the full hospital, hospital room doors, practically leaving skid marks in his wake.
And I thought this was just going to be a nice story about a young man who learns a little bit about himself by playing the game of golf. No.
Yeah, but that'd be boring. This is awesome. It went from golf to wheelchair parkour. Okay, but I need to... Okay, practically leaving skid marks in his wake. Numerous police officers ran towards him, guns blazing.
Wait. He's going out guns blazing in the hospital?
No. Numerous police officers ran towards him, guns blazing.
Why were there so many police officers there? Were they expecting this?
This is the police hospital. Oh, wait, you should add that. That should be your line. Little did Pedro know, he went to the police hospital.
God.
That'll explain it. We just fixed our plot hole.
Little did he know, Mima was done full of bulletproof vests because she was expecting some gang stuff to happen.
No.
Okay.
Then we won't have wheelchair parkour.
Guns blazing. Okay.
Do you really want to ruin the only good thing going for this so far?
The only good thing going for this thing is that it's going to end at some point.
Well, that's the name of the podcast. It's called The End Podcast.
Okay, numerous police officers ran towards him, guns blazing. Okay, fine. Little did Pedro know.
Ooh, this is the first time in history of The End that he is going with my idea.
That his grandma was in a police hospital.
Okay.
And all Alaskan officers.
Officiers.
Oh, yeah, whatever.
Officier.
Officers.
Maybe they're French.
Carry bear mace.
Huh? They're shooting bear mace at him?
No, they have guns and bear mace.
What does that have to do with anything? What does that have to do with the story? Here, let me recap.
It's foreshadowing.
Let me recap the sentence for the listeners and the viewers, because we love all of you. Little did Pedro know that his grandma was in a police hospital, and all Alaskan officers carry bear mace. That is so irrelevant.
It is called foreshadowing, sir. It'll become relevant at one point in the future.
This is the gun thing? This is that stupid little gun parable?
Oh, Gunscalibur? No. Gunscalibur is something that is going to be something written by me without your constant interference.
Okay, but I'd argue that my constant interference makes stories better. Like, who thought of the idea of doing wheelchair parkour?
That was me, actually.
No, I said, how should he escape? Through the window. It doesn't matter who thought it. Okay, and then carry bear mace. Okay.
Just want to point out to our audience, if you'd like to see a complete script rundown of the hit movie Gunscalibur, leave a comment below.
Don't you dare leave a comment. It's never going to happen.
That sounds like a challenge, and I will write a feature-length script for a movie that will never be made, and I will be more than happy to talk about it on the internet.
Uh-oh. Josh is gone. He froze up. This is not a good sign.
I'm gonna have so much footage from this. Also, my camera is about to die. I'm getting critically low battery life.
Well, Josh is frozen on my screen, and I cannot hear him.
Hello? Alex? Hello?
But I guess I will
What's going
continue
on?
my sentence.
Is my internet down?
Pedro.
Google.com.
It's good to have
Is
a little bit of
Google.com?
alone
Oh, no.
time here and there.
Google does not have internet. What happened?
Pedro slammed the large
Guys,
oak
I don't have internet anymore.
door.
If you're seeing this
Door
message
and
right now,
Found
I do not
some
have internet. If you know how to get
heavy-duty
internet,
chains
please contact me below.
on the floor.
Someone did it. My internet's back on.
On the floor and wrapped it tightly around the handles.
Oh, yeah. My internet's back. My internet died, but now it's back.
Yeah, I figured. I just had a little bit of alone time, so I was just kind of working through a lot of creative momentum. You kind of just ruined it.
Why is the
I was on
why is the door made of oak?
I was on a bullet train, and you just kind of went right in front of me.
Why is there an oak door in a hospital?
Okay, it's the police hospital. You can't expect them to have mahogany doors.
That was a bad joke.
So, okay, not all of them are going to hit. Pedro slammed the large oak door and found some heavy-duty chains on the floor and wrapped it tightly around the handles. Because, of course, they're going to have
Sure.
chains on the ground of a hospital. It's the police hospital. Anything is possible. There are so many better ways he could have killed his grandma. He could have just unplugged her ventilator.
Yeah, also the fact that
would have known.
The way, if he angled it, it could have gone through all of the floors of the hospital and just kept on hitting people. There's only one way out.
Yeah, but physics does not make sense for our story. Also, we haven't even gotten to out of the hospital yet, and it's almost an hour. An hour of this podcast, and we haven't even left the hospital. This is actually coming out really well. I'm hoping this is very entertaining. I mean,
we'll see. We'll see if anyone likes us.
Once we introduce the part about the supernatural elements, thanks to me, I think it got really interesting. Jumping from the 6th-story window, okay, so Josh's sentence, quick recap. Oh, I thought you were going to do it.
I got distracted. This
is the problem with podcasting over the phone.
There was only one way out. Jumping from the 6th-story window.
Luckily for Pedro, he had pumped up his tires a little extra in case of this exact scenario.
Do wheelchairs have inflatable tires?
In the police hospital universe, they do. Can we remember the fact that this is a different alternate world?
Yeah,
where shifted different.
Where Juneau is above the Yukon.
Yeah. So, you see, maybe there was a different universe where the tires were inflatable. And there was a police hospital.
Pedro.
He did a gainer. Your camera died. Okay. You can record on your iPad Mini 4. Are you going back to the iPhone? Well, hopefully this is the worst podcast we have, technical difficulties wise. You're going to have a fun time editing this. No. You're gonna edit it. You're doing the screen recording and all that. That is not true. We both know that is not true.
Alright, fine. I mean, I'm better at VFX, but...
You're better at VFX. I'm probably better.
You're better
at
sound, for sure, because I hate sound.
Yeah, I mean, sound is fun.
I'm going to keep the microphone in front of my face just so I feel professional.
Keep it consistent. Don't mess it up.
Okay,
now.
3, 2, 1. Clapping even though there's no audio to sync because I'm on a different recording device. That's right, guys. My camera died, so now I'm recording from the front-facing camera of my iPhone 6S. Let's get back into it. Yeah, iPhone 6S.
iPhone 6S. It's a new one,
Also,
guys.
this microphone is not plugged into anything, but that's not going to stop me from talking into it.
Wait, really? So the audio is bad now? God, this is a mess.
You're welcome.
Well, thankfully, this podcast is only going on Josh's channel. It's not going to go on the End channel yet because we haven't made it. And Josh has more subscribers.
Barely. How many subscribers do you
Barely.
How many subscribers do you have?
Me? I have 20 on both of my channels.
Ooh, okay. Not barely. Not barely. By a lot.
Yeah. So, are you going to finish your sentence?
Oh, yeah. Out of it. Readying his wheels for the next maneuver. How do you spell readying? Ready?
Gravity quickly propelled.
Yeah, that's a word. What? Read.
Gravity quickly propelled Pedro onto the ledge onto the air conditioning, what do you call those things?
Vent.
Box?
Heat air conditioner?
Air conditioning machine.
The air conditioning machine.
On the roof of the cafeteria. Okay, you don't need it anyways. This sound's gonna be awful for this no matter what. Like, this is legitimately already scuffed, and anybody watching is probably gonna keep watching because we're that cool and that funny and that entertaining.
This video is unlisted.
No, we're definitely gonna post this. We're definitely gonna post this because this is a great story.
No, it's
we can't
not.
just waste wheelchair
this is
parkour.
Not good.
We can't just waste wheelchair parkour
Yes.
idea on an idea we're not gonna
Well, then we
use.
can reuse it for a better one.
Reuse it. This podcast is made up on the spot. I cannot, give up my integrity, my artistic integrity, for your gains and your ineligibility.
You're gonna hurry up before my phone dies.
Your phone.
No, I have like 76% battery life.
Oh, okay. Well then, shut up.
I just want you to hurry
Gravity
up.
quickly propelled Pedro onto the air conditioning machine on the roof of the cafeteria. That's a lot of setup for this one little line.
So he
what?
already fell 6 stories.
No, the cafeteria on the 3rd floor that protrudes from the building.
So he fell 3 stories, which is 30 feet, equivalent to about 10 meters. And just so you know, if you're falling 10 meters. Oh my god! Really? No way. Yeah, you're going 14 meters per second.
Why are we actually doing the math on this?
Because I'm giving the readers something to listen to. Well,
the reader? Something to listen to?
I'm reading a lot of books. Look.
Okay, readers. Okay, gravity quickly propelled Pedro onto the air conditioning machine on the roof of the cafeteria on the 3rd floor. That protrudes from the building. So now we just made it a whole lot worse with the, We could have, established this earlier, but this is not a conventional story.
There's an establishing shot right at the beginning of the hospital scene.
Yeah,
like a sitcom.
Establishing shot, sure. And he quickly bounces off. He quickly bounces off and 360s onto the lower
So with
The next highest
with
one.
no air resistance, he hits the roof of the cafeteria at 31 miles per hour.
That's doable. That's possible. He did inflate his tires a little bit extra to that day.
That would make them harder.
Well, you see, if it's more inflated, it has more room to go.
That's assuming that it's malleable enough to do that. Any wheelchair I've ever seen.
Why are we talking? Can you just write your sentence? I just finished.
Hey, folks,
mine.
welcome to Physics Cast, where Josh Ler talks about physics.
God, that would have less viewers than this
I
one.
actually think that would probably have more, because for some reason all of the math videos I made have much more viewership than any of the other ones. So,
Yeah, I don't understand that.
people like math. He quickly bounces off in 360s onto the net. Wait, he jumps up a floor?
No, onto the next
okay.
highest unit. So the one he was on was the highest unit, but the other one's the next highest unit.
As he falls.
I mean, he doesn't fall yet.
Pedro, as he descends.
That's good. I like that.
Pedro he's a smart. Pedro flashes a smile to the security camera and delivers a classic one-liner. I want to show that Pedro is more of a jerk than we all think he is.
Dude, you are cool. You just set me up for
but I allowed you to write a one-liner because I did the grandmother's one-liner earlier. So, please.
That's true. As he descends, Pedro flashes a smile to the security camera and delivers a classic one-liner. Okay.
You know what the P in Pedro stands for?
No.
Parkour.
I'm the pilot of my own destiny. It's wheels up right now. It's wheels up right now. Pedro exclaims. Come on, that's clever.
No,
Pedro
it's
exclaims. I'm the pilot of my own destiny. It's wheels up right now. Pedro exclaims as he does yet another gainer
in midair
off the third story.
Just gainer switch all the way down.
You know, I really appreciate you giving me that one-liner because I feel like I nailed it.
No.
Because I'm the pilot of my own destiny. It's wheels up right now. Because his wheels go up because he's jumping.
Everyone listening is aware of that, and I hope they all agree with me that it is not good.
See, I thought you weren't understanding my artistic vision with this
Says
story.
the person that didn't get a single piece of symbolism that I put into the last script.
You know, our stories aren't about symbolism. It's about content.
You know what's king in my world? Content.
Quality versus quantity.
Okay.
Oh, wait. You already knew, like, you went against both those rules on your channel.
No quality and no content.
No.
No quality, and just when it looks like the quality might actually start to be getting to a reasonable level, just go dark for 10 months.
Yeah. This will be like the second newest video on your channel once you upload your valedictorian shit.
I'm gonna release the vlog I filmed in November too.
Oh no. Remember when we used to do vlogs?
I did. It was.
Alex said to no one in particular because nobody used to watch the vlogs.
It was fun. It was a good time.
Okay, the only people who watch the vlogs were us, but that's okay.
Yeah, actually, other people actually watch them. I got comment, not on YouTube. I didn't get really any YouTube comments, but I got comments from people in person saying that they liked them, and I think they were just patronizing me, but I'll take it.
You know what? Who's laughing now? We got a podcast.
I'm tired. smoldering.
Said every single couple of white guys ever.
The tires and Pedro's looks equally smoldering.
What? Oh, that's good. Recap the sentence for us.
Screeching tires brought Pedro to a halt on the ground. The tires and Pedro's looks equally smoldering.
That's good. That's good, you know.
Gotta have some water to cool that down.
Sirens rapidly approach.
What kind of siren? Like
the
the Greek sirens, like the mermaids?
No, you'll see. Sirens rapidly approach from behind. Causing Pedro to stop smirking at no one in particular and get a move on. As the as
Don't do it. Don't bring in.
As two ambulances
okay.
pulled into the emergency loading dock behind him. So he ran away from the sirens, obviously.
Right. Okay.
But he didn't know that they were just two ambulances.
I thought you were gonna say as a patrol of Canadian Mounties pulled up on their horses.
Oh no, they don't exist. This is in Alaska. Once the Yukon moved down, they kind of just stopped existing. What? What are you going for with this? So Josh has gone dark yet again. Not unusual of him.
10 months later, I'm back.
Yeah, you may have disappeared, but who has a podcast now? Come on, guys.
Do you have a podcast? If so, I'd love to hear it. Link it in the chat. Not in the chat.
There's one people.
There is one people.
You see, literature is my masterpiece.
Have you read more than 10 books in your life?
Maybe. But you see, that makes me all the much better at it, because my ideas are all original.
See you in the next life, Pedro shouted to the skies as he drifted away, lost into the forest.
You know what? Scene change.
Yep, that was the goal.
I think it's time to bring this somewhere else.
How long is this gonna be?
Well, let's see. Pedro's guilt,
just like Achilles' rage, is the central point of this masterwork.
Pedro's guilt had powered him into the top rankings of the he has to find his grandma in the afterlife. He has to find her spirit.
No, we cannot have this podcast last for 4 hours.
That's true. We're already at an hour.
Yeah.
So what can we do?
As soon as it's an hour and 30 minutes, we gotta cut it.
All right. So let's start getting there. So Pedro's guilt had powered him into the top rankings of the Alaskan Golf League. All without the help of his now deceased, deceased Mima.
Have you spelled Meemaw like 3 different ways throughout this story? No, you've been consistent.
Probably. That sounds like
you've been
me.
consistent with it. I take that back.
All without the help of his now deceased Mima, who he had yet to find, to seance, to
meet,
to connect with.
Connect with on LinkedIn.
Yeah. who he had yet to connect with in her spiritual matter? Spiritual... what's a word? What is a word? I don't know a word.
What is a word?
Spiritual form.
But an abstract idea that contains nothing but pain.
So Pedro's guilt had powered him into the top rankings of the Alaskan Golf League, all without the help of his now-deceased Mima, who he had yet to connect with in her spiritual form.
Suddenly, Pedro's phone got a notification with a blue ghost icon and text
I just burped.
that read, "What's his last name? Doesn't have one." Great.
We never established the last name.
Abigail.
Folks, I think Josh's internet crapped out again. Oh, there he is.
Abigail Spurkins.
Spurkins?
That's his last name. Deal with it.
Well, we never established that.
I just did.
Wait, is she really connecting with him on
She's
LinkedIn?
really connecting with him on LinkedIn.
No. Okay, I can fix this. Oh, have we started every single sentence with Pedro?
Yes.
This is a terrible story.
God, man, this is bad.
Wait. That's my grandmother's name. That's my Mima's name. We have to bring in the Mima. That's my Mima's name. No way. I forgot that Ghost Mark Zuckerberg had bought LinkedIn. Had bought LinkedIn as a way to connect with
his shareholders.
Sure, why not? You know, that's great. None of this makes any sense anyways, so.
Oh, I saw a period. I saw a period there.
Fine, you saw a period there. Whatever. Oh, that was a great 5 seconds of not talking again. We're really great at podcasts.
Look, it's our first one.
We'll get used to it, I'm sure.
It's a shame. Mark Zuckerberg passed after...
He's talking again?
You'll see. Crash of 2021. Said... Pedro's only friend, Jason, the school caddy.
The school caddy?
Man, it's a shame Mark Zuckerberg passed away after the great Bitcoin crash of 2021, said Pedro's only friend, Jason, the school caddy.
You know, I like Jason. I think Pedro likes him too. Maybe a little bit.
No, don't do this to me. Don't immediately derail the only other character. Okay, you murdered one character.
Okay, may I remind you, you wrote that line about killing
You
somebody.
brought in the ghosts. It's not my fault.
I did bring in the ghosts
Not
because
my fault.
it was an amazing idea. Okay, that was the best part of this podcast. Actually, when the ghost turned off my light, that was the best part. And all from there, it's just been
it's just been down. Yeah.
Okay, so Pedro looks at Jason and says, "Hey, want a kiss right now? I know a great spot behind the bleachers. Only like 4 Only like 4 dirty needles there. Pedro suggested as they walked, stepping carefully over used. We gotta establish that Alaska has a bad heroin problem.
Why? Why do we need to establish that?
Stepping over Alaskan junkies.
They're
laying on
They're
the sidewalk.
walking over them?
A common sight in in post Yukon, Alaska. No.
What is post Yukon?
In post Bitcoin society.
I remember when the blockchain only had one link. Now.
So my sentence is, hey, want a kiss right now? I know a great spot behind the bleachers. Only 4 dirty needles there. Pedro suggested as they walked, carefully stepping over Alaskan junkies laying on the sidewalk. A common sight in post-Bitcoin Alaska. Let's do a quick word count check. We're at 811. And we're only at an hour in the podcast.
Okay. Boop. There we go.
Okay.
That's
so you
it.
just-
Pedro, I told you after
Pedro.
last time. I'm 36. Which kind of implies that he didn't tell him before whatever happened the last time. Now that I think of it.
And I'm telling you, I don't care. Kiss me while you still have a chance.
What? Is that a threat?
Oh no, I put a period. I wanted to add something else, but I put a period.
Jason.
Wait, how old is Pedro? He could be like in his 20s.
He's 16. He goes to high school.
No, we're not making the... Oh wait, does he?
Yeah, wait. I feel like...
When did we establish that he goes to high school?
I thought we established he went to high school.
We never did.
I always
'Cause it says-
thought he went to high school. Because...
But that's where you're different from me.
Well,
my
because
friend.
I actually played on a high school golf team.
Okay, I was on a golf team too. I played 2.5 matches. So all we ever said was he was a shy young man. So that could be anybody.
Jason.
Are you gonna read out when you type?
Pedro looked up at Jason, staring at all his 6'8" wonder. I yet again deferred to you because I have no idea where you want to go with this. Then
he looked at his.
No, stop.
Hi.
No.
Then he looked at his height and wondered
No.
how it was physically possible
No.
to have a So let's recap the last couple of sentences. Pedro looked up at Jason, stared at all his 6'8" wonder. Then he looked at his height and wondered how it was physically possible to have a body part that big. Man, you're just setting me up, and I'm just killing it.
I keep going for an alley-oop and you dunk on me every time.
See, if this story was Mima, I am whatever our main character's name is. I am Pedro to Mima.
You murdered me?
No, the story is Mima. You are just the Glocks. You're handing me 2 loaded Glocks, and I'm just firing them, emptying them in the Mima.
Where do I go from this?
I think we're already past an hour. I think we can just be done.
No, there's no development here.
This podcast is only over when we put the name of it on the end. Folks, he is stumped and he doesn't know what to do. I think I won.
Broken.
I mean, I know we're not keeping score and there's no winning in this, but I think I won.
I think you broke me. I don't know how to improv. I don't know how to yes and this.
Man.
Hey.
He immediately ran away. Man, you had no idea what you were getting yourself into when you wrote that sentence.
All of his 9th grade textbooks. And sat on the ground.
Man.
Riveting. He set down his textbooks and sat down. And now I have canonically established, maybe not that he is in high school, but that he at least has textbooks from 9th grade. So maybe he's just, maybe he's a teacher or something.
I think I'm gonna go with your 9th grade thing. I like that.
No.
Pedro, recess is over. Stop talking.
They're walking in the sidewalk.
Oh, yeah. I forgot we did that.
You forgot you did that.
I did that. I was just so blown away with my
What are you gonna do with that?
Okay, we gotta get back to golf. We finally made it to the golf course.
He says after sitting down.
I can't wait to hit the balls in the hole.
Is that a pickup line or is that a euphemism?
No. No. I can't wait to hit the balls in the hole. Like one does when playing golf.
Okay, with how he talks, Pedro's an alien.
I just really wanted to focus on a character who loves golf and is able to describe it so well.
I can't wait to hit the balls in the hole, like one does when playing golf.
We finally made it to the links. I can't wait to hit the balls in the hole. Like one does when playing golf.
I told you, man. I told you, Mom. Told you, man.
Why'd you put a semicolon there?
Jason.
I mean a colon.
Oh, I can't actually... Oops, my bad. That was a mistake. I told you, man. Jason.
Says?
Said... I'm trying to think of a word. I'm trying to think of an adverb here. Give me an adverb. I'm asking for your advice.
Jump. But aggressively.
No.
He can be mad.
Confusedly.
Confusedly? That's a word?
Yes. You have to learn how to talk about golf one of these days.
Recording. You have to learn how to talk about golf one of these days. Speaking of golf, let's go play that.
Speaking of
Since
golf,
my-
let's go play that.
Since my dead grandmother is going to help me cheat and win.
Alright, I just want to establish something for the audience. So, the browser capture has only seen the first page of the document. So,
Are you kidding me? This is terrible.
it'll be showing the whole time. So we're good.
So it's seen us typing
Yeah.
everything. Then why did you say that?
Yeah, we're good now.
But did it miss all of that?
Yes.
You are kidding me. This is gonna make no sense.
Yes. I can recreate that. That's fine. I can redo that.
Okay, recreate
Yeah.
it. Are you gonna? Okay, we really need to get going. We have like 5 minutes if we want to keep this at an hour and a
Okay,
half.
speed round. So far it's an hour and 24 minutes of full record. Speaking of golf, let's go play some. Okay, gee, God.
I'm trying to push it forward with my.
It was the day of the state finals. And
What state are we in again?
Alaska.
I don't think we've established
Alaska.
that. Oh, okay. Yeah, you know, that does ring a bell.
Jason.
Wait, are we north or south of the Yukon?
Prep to Caddy. I hate you. Pedro's game that day when he ran into an unexpected problem. Please don't make this weird. Please don't make this weird. I'm just trying to get back to normalcy here. Don't. I gave you a blank check
Okay.
with what the problem is going to be.
Okay, you see, that was a little bit of a tangent we didn't need to go on, but you set me up so good. I had to just slam dunk that, you know. I just had to. You set it up so well. So anyways, you ran into an unexpected problem. Grandma.
Wait a minute.
What?
No, I did not set you up for this. I introduced a character. It was, man, it's a shame Mark Zuckerberg passed after the great Bitcoin crash of 2021, said Pedro's only friend, Jason the school cat. That was it. That was the only setup, is that I introduced a character and you immediately derailed it. No,
Yes.
that's not on me.
You see, that was a very delayed reaction. I'm surprised you didn't. Anyways, Grandma.
Wait.
I thought you were dead.
Wait.
What are you doing here?
So Pedro's grandma is also Jason's grandma?
No. Okay, if I had 2 sentences, if you're willing to give me your sentence, I can continue my idea. Okay, my idea is that he sees his grandma and Pedro's grandma invited her to help him win. So all of them are going to help. All the grandmas got together. No, the LinkedIn page, the grandma's Golf for Grandma's LinkedIn page hooked them up. So they're all gonna help. What are you doing here?
Okay,
Jason
fine, whatever.
exclaims. Jason asks,
All right, we have.
looking.
I'm gonna set a timer for 5 minutes.
Okay, how are we gonna wrap this up in 5 minutes?
Deal with it.
Grandma, I thought you were dead. What are you doing here? Jason asked, looking at the
Time.
What's it called? Aspiration?
Apparition. The aspirations.
Apparition of his late Nana.
I'm here to help you win the tournament.
Alright, hurry up. We got 5 minutes.
You win the tournament and show those good for nothing all-stars
Wait.
what a real golfer looks like.
Wait, how are they gonna do that if they're gonna help him cheat?
You're up.
Should
You're
they?
up.
Okay. Jason
4 minutes.
gives her a confused look before she continues.
You're a jerk. Oh, okay. I thought you were just gonna leave me with that.
I'm here to help you win the tournament and show those good-for-nothing all-stars what a real golfer looks like. You see, we're not going to actually help Pedro. But if he thinks we are, the placebo effect will kick in.
Is this like Michael Jordan's special sauce?
Remember, Sonny, cheaters never prosper.
But people that think they're cheating and actually aren't?
She pauses for a second
Is it?
and raises a finger.
Which one?
Except for your father. Yeah. He prospered real good. Actually, except for your grandfather, because father seems a little bit weird. Yeah, he prospered real good. Your turn. We gotta finish this story, by the way, in like...
On 17th hole, Pedro had a one-stroke lead over the entire enemy team. While Jason conflicted, decided to tell him what was happening. Go.
Okay, my iPad's
2
almost
minutes.
out of storage.
2 minutes.
So we gotta
2
hurry
minutes
this up.
left. 2 minutes left.
Why would he tell him what's happening? It was winning.
Hurry up.
Jason then decided against it. Because he was already in the lead. Why would he tell him? Go. Jason then decided against it because he was already in the lead. Why would he ruin the mojo?
So he
Oh, that means a question mark.
So he watched in awe as Pedro sunk the final putt on 18.
Oh, you leave. Okay, that's fine.
1 minute. After which we have to read this to camera, like the whole thing.
That's true. That's true. So we watched it all as Pedro sunk the final putt on 18. They celebrated as they had won. Period. I'm not alone. The story is
But
terrible.
something happened. Then Pedro had golfed so good that he brought his grandmother back to life.
What?
You're up.
As he and Jason embraced all 6 feet 8 of him, of his lanky body.
Why did you say it like that? Okay, this is the last sentence. Make it count.
Is it the last sentence?
5 minutes is up.
As he and Jason embraced all 6 feet 8 of his lanky body. I gotta rewrite this. As Pedro embraced all 6 feet 8, 6 foot 8.
Yeah, whatever. It's fine.
The story doesn't
Of
make
his
sense.
own.
Jason's lanky body.
So his grandma comes back to life, and he hugs his caddy instead.
No.
Oh, okay.
He was embracing him when his grandma heard a familiar voice from behind him. Okay, you keep going. I want him to turn around and see his grandmother holding 2 gold-encrusted Glocks.
He turned around and saw Mima.
Thank you.
Turned around and saw Mima.
Continuing the legacy.
Whose hands held something glittery in them. You go.
His own gold-encrusted Glocks shimmered in the light as Mima paused for a quick one-liner
Oh my god, yes.
to send them to the afterlife. You did it for me. I gotta do it for you.
Okay, ooh, what is it gonna be?
I don't know, that's all up to you.
Now that glitters is gold.
What? No!
You good for nothing trash heap. She screamed
I just realized
as
something.
she emptied the clips once again, dyeing the green red. End it. End it.
I just realized something.
What?
We remember when we were walking on the sidewalk?
Yeah.
Pedro is in a wheelchair. Oh well.
Whatever. Whatever.
Dyeing the green red.
I swear, you better just write the end. You better just write it.
That's a lot of holes in one. I gotta have. Wait, hold on. That's not what I meant to do. So we gotta. That's it. That's it.
I'll write it.
Yeah, that's it. We'll
The
just leave it
end.
at that.
Okay, let's read this. Did you?
Well, thank you everybody who made it this
If
far.
you made it this far,
Because
what are you doing? Why are you here? Leave it in the comments why you're still watching if you watched to this point. Because
Yeah, what's your problem?
what's your
what are you
problem?
doing?
That's kind of aggressive.
You know, Josh, I know a great resource for people. YouTube.com/Josh M.
Not my channel.
That
That
is-
is not my channel.
That is really the best resource for people in these times. But anyways,
Josh
let's read the story.
JoshMont.myportfolio.com.
But you made it this
Okay.
far, so it's time for us to read the full story. So, Josh, why don't you start with the first paragraph?
Pedro was a shy young man from a small fishing village in Juneau, Alaska. Every summer day, he found himself on the range at 7 a.m., prepared to work his skills and lower his handicap. Pedro himself had longed for the day that he could walk again, for now he was the most skilled wheelchair golfer this side of the Alaskan Yukon. It had been 6 years since the avalanche on Denali caused him to recalculate his career goals, and golf became a more central part of his life. The golf scene on Alaska was quite dangerous, as the Anchorage All-Stars controlled the golf circuit. With 3 consecutive state championships and multiple national titles, their team looked invincible. They also used a splash of paranormal to win their way onto numerous titles, not only being invincible, but also invisible.
It seemed unfair to Pedro that the All-Stars were able to sneakily tap in their go-ahead putts without increasing their scores, because of their invisibility, that we haven't established in a sentence prior.
Shut up.
Pedro had approached the Alaskan Golf Council many times about the use of spiritual guidance in play for the All-Stars, but every time he was turned around and rolled away. There was only one way for Pedro to level the playing field. He would need to kill someone and force them to guide his golf balls down the fairway. Pedro's ailing grandmother was always supportive of his golfing passion, attending every single home match for the past 3 years, waving a flag with a picture of her beloved on it. He couldn't imagine life without his grandmother, but soon he would be the one to end it all. Pedro would rather kill himself than kill his dear old Mima, but she was next up on the Grim Reaper's clipboard. If anything, he was doing her a favor.
He walked into his grandmother's hospital room, unsure of how to convince her to help him out in this golf match. Mima, die already, hag.
Oh, you've always been quite a strange boy. It's no wonder that you come to send me off like this.
Can I just say real quick, that is an amazing impression of an
Thank
old
you.
lady. Continue.
Replied a happy but ailing grandmother. Pedro walks over to the side of his grandmother's padded abode before pulling out his dual gold-encrusted Glocks and unloading, pop, 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 2 full mags into the chest of whom he once called a hag.
I always said your future was gonna blow
That's the
me
grandmother.
away.
That's not her voice.
Oh. I forgot. Okay, hold on. Rewind the tape. I always said your future was gonna blow me away, the grandmother said as she was pumped full of lead. Pedro rolled over to the hospital room doors, practically leaving skid marks in his wake. Numerous police officers ran towards him, guns blazing. Little did Pedro know that his grandma was in a police hospital. And all Alaskan officers carry bear mace. For some reason, that's an important detail. It never came back in the end. Pedro slammed a large oak door and found some heavy duty chains on the floor and wrapped it tightly around the handles. There was only one way out: jumping from the 6th-story window. Luckily for Pedro, he had pumped up his tires a little extra in case of this exact scenario. Pedro wheeled up to the window and did a sit gainer out of it, readying his wheels for the next maneuver. Gravity quickly propelled Pedro onto the
At
air conditioning machine at the
31
roof of the
miles per
cafeteria on the
hour.
3rd floor.
31 miles per hour.
Also, this sentence is so bad. Gravity quickly propelled Pedro onto the air conditioning machine of the roof of the cafeteria on the 3rd floor that protrudes from the building.
And he quickly bounces off in 360s onto the next highest unit.
As he descends, Pedro flashes a smile to the security camera and delivers a classic one-liner. I'm the pilot of my own destiny. It's wheels up right now, Pedro exclaims as he does yet another gainer off the 3rd story.
Screeching tires brought Pedro to a halt on the ground, the tires and Pedro's looks equally smoldering. Sirens rapidly approach from behind, causing Pedro to stop smirking at no one in particular and get a move on, as two ambulances pulled into the emergency loading dock behind him.
Ambuli, 2 ambuli.
See you in the next life, Pedro shouted to the skies as he drifted away, lost into the forest.
Pedro's guilt had powered... Oh, I'm sorry.
You focus, this is a serious story.
You're right, it's so serious. Pedro's guilt had powered him into the top rankings of the Alaskan Golf League, all without the help of his now-deceased Mima, who he had yet to connect with in her spiritual form. Suddenly, Pedro's phone got a notification with a blue ghost icon and a text that read, Abigail Spurkins would like to connect with you on LinkedIn.
Wait, that's Mima's name. No way, I forgot that ghost Mark Zuckerberg had brought LinkedIn as a way to connect with his shareholders.
Man, it's a shame Mark Zuckerberg passed after
Give Jason a cool voice.
Man, it's a shame Mark Zuckerberg passed after the great Bitboy. Man, it's a shame Mark Zuckerberg passed after the great Bitcoin crash of 2021, said Pedro's only friend, Jason the school caddy. Hey, want a kiss right now? I know a great spot behind the bleachers. Only like 4 dirty needles there, Pedro suggested as they walked, stepping carefully over Alaskan junkies laying on the sidewalk. Because we forgot he's in a wheelchair.
He rolls over them.
Maybe we should fix it. Nah, I'm not going to fix it. Stepping carefully over Alaskan junkies laying on the sidewalk, a common sight in post-Bitcoin Alaska.
Pedro, I told you after the last time, I'm 36.
And I'm telling you, I don't care. Kiss me while you still have the chance. Pedro looked up at Jason, staring at all his 6'8" wonder. Then he looked at his height. and wondered how it was physically possible to have a body part that big. You're welcome. He immediately set down all of his 9th grade textbooks and sat on the ground. We finally made it to the links. I can't wait to hit the balls in the hole. Like one does when playing golf. I told you, man, Jason said confusedly. You have to learn how to talk about golf one of these days. Speaking of golf, let's go play... Speaking of golf, let's go play that, since my dead grandmother's gonna help me cheat and win.
It was the day of the state finals, and Jason was all prepped to caddy Pedro's game, that day when he ran into an unexpected problem.
Grandma, I thought you was dead. What are you doing here?
Jason asked, looking at the operation of his late Nana.
I'm here to help you win the tournament and show those good for nothing all-stars what a real golfer looks like.
Jason gives her a confused look before she continues.
You see, we're not going to actually help Pedro, but if he thinks we are, the placebo effect will kick in. Now remember, Sonny, cheaters never prosper.
She pauses for a second and raises a finger.
Except for your grandfather. Yeah, he prospered real good. Boy,
This is terrible.
boy, do I remember him prospering all
God.
over the place. Good thing it was
That was-
1920s.
We're just gonna move past this. On the 17th hole, Pedro had a 1-stroke lead over the entire enemy team, while Jason, conflicted, decided to tell him what was happening. Jason then decided against it, because he was already in the lead. Why would he ruin the mojo? So he watched in awe as Pedro sunk the final putt on 18. They celebrated as they had won. But something happened then. Pedro had golfed so good that he had brought his grandmother back to life. As Pedro embraced all 6 feet 8 of Jason's lanky body, he heard a familiar voice behind him. He turned around and saw Meemaw, whose hands held something glittery in them. His own gold-encrusted glocks shimmered in the light as Meemaw paused for a quick one-liner to send him to the afterlife.
Not all that glitters is gold, you good-for-nothing trash heap! She screamed as she emptied one of the clips again. Bop, bop, bop! Time the green's red! Now that's a lot of holes in one! The end!
The end. Oh my god. You know, despite all of the technical difficulties, this was a lot of fun.
Okay, that ending segment of us reading it makes the whole thing.
Honestly, this is going to be a good podcast. I'm looking forward to the rest of this podcast.
As am I.
But for now, that's it for this episode, you guys. We really appreciate you listening. If there is anybody listening at all.
Comment down below the word of the day, which is, of course,
Meemaw!
comment.
If you watched the whole thing through, comment Meemaw so we know you did. Because
you'll win a special
people
prize.
are fake and they don't watch
You'll win
it.
it. You'll win a special prize funded entirely by Alex.
That is not going to happen. But what I will give you is a thank you for listening. Tune in. Maybe next
time.
week. We don't know when this is coming out. I want to do it weekly, because we have a lot of time now. Even though we both are about to have a lot going on in our lives since we just graduated high school. But once again, thank you all for listening and watching and turning off 5 seconds in.
If you want to, usual watch time is like 1 minute and 27 seconds, by the way. So,
but podcasts, I mean,
if you found this interesting, and there are no other episodes of this podcast out right now, as there may not be, you can go and check out some of our other long form videos that we did. What's your favorite long form video that we've done?
The Nazgul project?
That's it. That's what I was going to go with.
Every other video is like 10 minutes or like 2 minutes.
So you can go check out my hour and 30-minute long tutorial on how to build a Nazgul gauntlet, which is very cool, very interesting. And if somehow you're interested in that, go for it. If you can follow me on Instagram at JoshM3141, and you can follow Alex on one of his 2 accounts, or both.
I don't really care. Follow me on my Instagram.
Or not, and you subscribe to this channel if you for some reason are interested in seeing when the next one of these comes out, hit the notification bell icon and do all of the other things that people do on YouTube. Leave a comment if you enjoyed this video saying me mo.
And I was Alex.
And I was Josh. And this
And
is the end.
is the end.
Okay.
So
hold on. First off, what kind of keyboard are you rocking today, Alex?
I don't know. I'm using a lot of equipment that my grandma used to have, and we found it at the top of our garage. So I'm using a keyboard that is unmarked, does not have any logos on it, and looks pretty boring.
I'm using this Acco X Ducky mechanical keyboard fitted out with Cherry MX Brown switches. You can buy yours on Newegg, just like I did mine. It's great value, pretty solid keyboard, and very robust. Check out the link in the description below to purchase that.
You aren't even Amazon partnered. Why are you doing this? We don't have any sponsors yet.
Look, how do you
You're
think
giving them free money.
How do you think you get sponsors, Mr. Keyran?
They email you once you get like a lot of viewers, or you email them. You're like, hey, look, I want you to sponsor my podcast. And they probably don't email you back, but who knows?
If you're out there from Ducky, the keyboard manufacturer, and you'd like to sponsor this podcast, leave a comment below or send me an email.
Yes, at josh@email.com.
You know my email.